Hello, Namaskar and very good afternoon to all the viewers connected with us on NCERT's live and interactive program. I am Manu Gupta, your host for this session, and you are also connected with us at PMA Vidya channel number 8. We are also streaming live on our YouTube channel which goes by the name NCERT Official. So if you wish to be a part of our live interaction, you just need to drop in your queries, questions, feedback in our live comment section. So dear viewers, for today, this half an hour we are going to have a science subject session and for class 8 student, and the topic that we are going to do today in this session is crop production and management. To give more insight into this topic, we are joined by our expert Miss Preeti Maan. Ma'am is TGT Science in Bal Bharti Public School, GRH Marg. Ma'am, namaskar, very welcome to the session.
Thank you.
I also wish to welcome our sign language interpreter Miss Bhumi. Namaskar Bhumi ji, आपको बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. I also wish to tell you dear viewers that during the live interaction, if you have any questions from us, if you want to talk to us or connect to us, you can contact us telephonically also, for which our phone number is flashing on the screen. The phone number is 8800440559. If you wish to write to us in detail, our specific email address is there for you also, and the email address is dth.class8@ciet.nic.in. So without any delay, let us know about this interesting topic, crop production, from our expert, Dr. Preeti, Miss Preeti.
Alright children, so first of all congratulations that you have made it to grade 8 with flying colors, and this is the very first chapter of grade 8, that is crop production and management. Basic chapter but a required one, as it tells that the food that we are eating, from where it is coming and what all is required by the people to make this food. So we'll start the chapter. So food we are eating, we need energy, we need nutrition.
Yes.
So all that energy and nutrition we are getting from different variety of food. Yes?
Right.
Growing that different variety of food, it is a part of science that is called as agriculture. So agriculture, it is just not a practice wherein you can take the stuff, put it in the ground and you get the results. You need to really work hard a lot to get the perfect results. Yes. So this agricultural industry, it is 10,000 years old. So before that, what people used to do, they used to wander around, find for the food. So fruits they were eating, roots they were eating. Then they started to grow crops, they have started cultivation, and the civilization has started.
Wonderful.
Now if we talk of our country, so 70% of the population, it is working in agricultural sector, right? And the boom to this sector came when green revolution came into existence. So it was in mid 1960 when Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, he did his research over things. For that, he is also called as father of green revolution. So he did a lot of work in developing and promoting high yield variety seeds of wheat and rice. So that was all the history of agriculture, that how we have reached till this point.
Wonderful.
Now next we have that what do we call a crop as? What is a crop? So when similar variety of plants cultivated together, it is called as crop.
Right.
So wheat, if we take example of wheat, so we don't grow a single plant of wheat. There are many plants of wheat are grown together.
Right.
So that is a crop.
All right, ma'am, here I have a question for you. Are there types of crops also?
Yes, So based on different seasons, see, our country, we are rich in diversity. So even when we go from different areas, different region, the season is also changing, right? So that give rise to the different variety of crops. So we have two major varieties that we classify them into, that is Kharif crop and Rabi crop.
Right.
Now Kharif crop will be sown now, so that is rainy season crop that comes. So now we know that wheat is harvested. Yes, the fields are preparing for the Kharif crop. Now rice is Kharif crop because rice needs a lot of water. Okay, so that water, it gets more in the rainy season. Now the second one, we have the Rabi crop. Now Rabi crop, it is sowed in winter season, so wheat is a Rabi crop. Now we have further examples also for that. Mustard, pea, gram, linseed, they all are the examples of Rabi crop.
Right. Wonderful. So, ma'am, just now you told us about two types of crops, Kharif and Rabi. Here, viewers, I would like to request you to write down which are the crops that we sow, the farmers sow in Kharif crop, and which crops do we sow in Rabi crop. And another thing, another question I want to ask you, who is called the father of farming or agriculture, I should say?
Green Revolution.
Green Revolution. Wonderful. So, we are waiting for your comments here. Let us know if you remember what all ma'am told you. And I have a question ready for you, ma'am. While doing farming, do we need to follow certain steps?
Yes, definitely. When we have said that agriculture is what is an art also and science also. So for doing any scientific thing, we need to follow certain steps
Well,
to get the desired result.
Absolutely.
So same thing is happening with agricultural practices also. What do? We follow certain steps. So these steps are what? First we prepare the soil, the basic thing, all our food is growing in soil, so preparation of soil is required. Then we sow seeds into it. Then after sowing seeds, soil needs some sort of nourishment. So that nourishment it is getting from manures and fertilizers. So that becomes the third point, adding manures and fertilizers. Next we need water. So for all seeds to grow, water is required. Yes, so the fourth step is irrigation, providing adequate amount of water. Now next we need to protect our crop from weeds.
right.
Next, after that, our crop is ready, so it needs to be harvested. And the final step is the harvested crop needs to be stored properly. Why? Because it is transported in many countries also. So if it is not stored properly, then what will happen? The grains will rot. So for their shelf life, what we need to do? We need to store them properly. So these are the steps that we need to follow
Wonderful.
while doing agricultural practices.
So, ma'am, as a student, I would ask you, is there any tip of remembering these steps? Since when I was in the school, I used to forget these steps.
So that's very easy. You just need to think of a plain ground.
All right.
What do we do while we plant, say, a sapling? Right? We dig a hole.
Digging.
Yes, digging. Digging means what we are doing, we are preparing the soil.
Right.
After digging, we are putting the seed inside it or we are putting the sapling inside it.
Right.
So that is sowing. After that, we sprinkle some manures over it so that the plant is getting perfect grip or the seed is getting those nutrients what are required.
Right.
Yes, then we water it. Watering again important. Fine. Further, when the plant is growing up, you see some unwanted plants are also grow along with the main plant. So we need to remove that. Yes. Further, if we are getting some fruits out of it, so harvesting is to be done, and in house we won't be say growing much of it, so storage is not required there.
It is necessary, yes.
Yes.
Once you are, yes, absolutely. So, while listening to you, I came up with another idea for our viewers and the educators who are watching us. Why can't we make a poem out of these steps? I have written 2 lines. Let us see if our viewers can come up with more lines and write down in the comment section. Let me recite these 2 lines for you, dear children, although these are raw lines. So, shall I say, ma'am?
Yes,
Shall I
yes,
recite?
definitely. You know, that makes learning easy.
Yes. तो बच्चों मैंने आप ही की सहूलियत के लिए 2 लाइनें तैयार की हैं. आओ करे मिट्टी तैयार, आओ करे मिट्टी तैयार, मिला मिला कर करे तैयार, आओ करे मिट्टी तैयार. So that is the first step of preparation of soil. I have given you the cue, dear viewers. Please complete the poem and send it to us.
That will be really great if you try to complete this with these steps mentioned here.
Yes. And before we go forward, ma'am, since the first step is preparation of soil, I wish to ask you, why is it necessary to prepare the soil before we sow in the seeds?
All right. So, sowing a seed into a soil, that's a prime step, right? So, preparation of soil includes what? We need to make soil a certain loose so that seed goes into it. And if the seed is germinating, so the seed gets proper amount of air.
Right.
Right, because these are the basic factors that are required for germination. So, seed germinates when it gets water, when it gets air. So, if the soil is not prepared, see, if the surface is very hard, first of all, we won't be able to dig soil into it.
Yes.
The seeds won't go inside. Yes. If we even try to put seed inside, then it won't be getting proper amount of water and air. So, the chances are there the seed won't germinate.
Yes.
So, that's why this is a prime step, that before we start to say grow crops or say plantation, if we are doing, it's very much required we should prepare our soil. So, that is called as soil needs to be turned and it needs to be loosened.
Right.
Why? So that the roots, they go deep into the soil. Roots doesn't have to struggle, right? If the soil is loosened, they'll perfectly go deep down and take the nourishment for the plant.
At the same time, when the sapling is about to sprout from above the soil, it would be easy for the sapling to come out if the soil is loosened.
The shoot also come out easily and the root also be able to penetrate deep down easily. Also, it gives space to the microorganisms and the organisms which provide fertility to the soil. Say earthworms, they are providing fertility to the soil, so they'll be easy to move when the soil is loose. Yes?
Yes.
Now, this is done by plough. So, ploughing is the technique that is used. So, this is the conventional technique that was used by farmers earlier with the help of these bulls. Yes. Further, what happens? We use this hoe and a cultivator. So, this is how we prepare our soil. Now, the second step is sowing.
Right.
Now, while sowing, the first step is we need to select the seeds.
Yes, yes, of course. So, here comes another question for you, ma'am. So, when we are sowing the seeds, is there a way to identify which is a good seed, since we also practice kitchen farming, kitchen gardening these days in our homes, and we go outside in the market and purchase packets full of seeds. But how can we identify which seed to buy?
Okay, so for big seeds, see, seeds also vary from small size to big size. So, for big size seeds, the texture tells us about it.
All right.
Yes, you can easily see and tell whether the seed is healthy or not.
Okay.
Okay, for small seeds, what do? We soak them in water.
All right.
So, the ones coming up, they are not the healthier ones. So, this we also have seen while we use they say moong dal for making sprouts.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So, we put the moong dal, soak it in water. So, what happens? The seeds that are coming up, they are not the healthy ones.
Okay,
so,
which are floating on top of the surface.
So, what do? We simply scoop them out.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
So, that's the very important step. Farmers, when they are doing this sowing part, so they do soak the seeds in water. Now, it is sorting two purpose. First, we get the healthier seeds.
Right.
And second one, because seeds are what? They are dried.
Right.
So they'll get that moisture. So the germination process will also be activated.
Right, right.
So while we make sprouts, what do? We soak seeds
Ji,
for
absolutely.
some time,
Yes.
and then we then we drain off the water and keep the seeds, say, in proper amount of light and air, and then we see that the white structure coming out, that is radicle.
That is
Radicle.
radical. Okay.
And it grows up to root. So the very first structure that comes out of the seed is radicle. Now further, when you keep the seed, the sprout, for a longer period of time, you see one more extension coming out.
All right.
So now this second extension, it will grow into shoot system.
All right.
So
And it
basically,
is also said that, ma'am, this radicle is the most nutritious part of the plant.
nutritious part of the plant, we can
Or
say
the
that,
grain
of
yes.
the grain of the seed, right? Why? Because all the essential nutrients that plant has, it is transferred to the fruit
Right,
or the seeds, yes, and it gets stored there.
right.
So seeds are what? They are, say, another life is getting formed out of
Germinated
seeds.
out of them, yes.
Yes. So selection of seed is a very important part while we doing, say, agricultural practices. Now good quality seeds, how to identify them, I have told. Now the thing comes that how the seeds are distributed. So earlier it was done by hands. So just sprinkling the seeds like this
Right.
with the help of hand, that process is called as broadcasting.
All right.
But this process has its disadvantage too, because the person doesn't know how much amount of seeds are going at what place. The probability is there that some part you have more seeds and at the other part there are less seeds.
Yes.
So wherever more seeds are present and they'll grow, right? So each and every plant will fight for nutrition.
Absolutely.
And they'll not grow properly. Okay. So now further what happened, this broadcasting is now
Shifted
into a next process, and with the help of seed drill, what we are doing now, seed drill has a funnel shaped portion like this. So it is connected to several pipes like this.
All right.
So you pour the seeds right from the top, the seeds are getting distributed and they are going into the soil.
Okay, at an
So,
equal distance.
Yes, they are equidistant from one another and they are growing properly one after the other. So like with this process, by using seed drill, we are making sure that each seed is grown at a proper distance, so it gets proper amount of sunlight and proper amount of nutrition.
Wonderful.
Now next we have the third step that we have seen was adding manures and fertilizers.
Right.
Why is that required? Because seed needs nourishment, our plant needs nourishment. So from where the nourishment comes, it comes from the manures or the fertilizers that we are adding.
Right.
Now there are certain natural methods also, like field fallow. Field fallow, what do? We leave the land, say, for a season empty. So the soil from plants, dead remains of the plants and the fecal matter, it regain its nutrition. Crop rotation, what do? We rotate the crops, like we have grown leguminous plants. Now leguminous plants, what they does? They enrich the soil with nitrogen.
Yes.
Now later to it we can grow, say, wheat. And again we can rotate the crop like this. One crop is utilizing the nutrients and another crop is again providing the nutrients to the soil. And further we can do mixed cropping. So in mixed cropping, what do? We take the plants like that. So the requirement of nutrient by one plant is covered by the other plant that we are growing. So these are the natural methods. Now further we have methods wherein we are using manures. Manures are made by organic waste, leaves, plants, and fertilizers, they are the inorganic substances that we are using. So they are prepared in factories with the help of nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus.
G.
Okay.
Also known as NPK.
Yes, also known as NPK. So, with this method what we did, we have provided enough amount of nutrients to our plant. So, we have further steps also. Those further steps will take up in the next class. As of now, what we need to keep in our mind, that what is necessary for a plant to grow. Soil needs to be healthy. We need to be preparing our soil that well that it is accommodating for the seed to grow perfectly. Right? Because what a seed needs, it needs air, it needs water. Right. So, this air and water, how it will reach up to the seed when it is getting right amount of oxygen and right amount of water. Secondly is we need to select the healthy seeds. Okay, processes we have discussed, that how do we identify that which seed is healthy, and finally by adding manures and fertilizers to it.
Wonderful, wonderful. It was really enriching and enlightening session by Nidhi ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And while ma'am was teaching us how to grow crops, I thought of something for our viewers to do. Viewers, now you know about how to grow crops. Why don't you grow your own plants at home? Since you know the steps, what are the steps that are involved in growing a plant? So, why don't you do it at home and tell us how was your experience, what were the challenges that you faced? And for this insightful session, now I would like to give thanks to our expert. Thank you so much, Preeti ma'am, for being with us. And before we wrap up the session, I wish to give you one important piece of information. As you can see on the screen, do you like to read songs and poems, dear children? And do you like to write also? If yes, then be a part of our new initiative of Ministry of Education, Government of India, and send in your entries of songs and folk songs in Indian languages and in English. You can send in your entries at the given link on the screen, and also you can visit mygov.in website to get to know about the rules. So, this was all about our lesson about crop production, and I, Anu Gupta, taking your leave. I hope you must have learned a lot while we discussed this topic. Thank you so much. Keep learning. Stay tuned with us. And here we have the schedule for the day. As you can see on your screen, we just completed our session of crop production, subject science. Next up, we have the session at 3:30 p.m. for class 8. Alright, 3:30 p.m. for class 8. Yes, it is for mathematics and the topic is rational numbers. And next, after that, we have 4 o'clock session. We are bringing you a session on digital equity and inclusion, essential practices for educators. And lastly, but not the least, we have a session of Sahyog for you from 5 o'clock till 5:30, and the topic would be roots and wings, embracing culture and identity. And that was all for the day. Bye bye, take care, stay well.